he's like 5'6", and like when they were shooting all the Fast and the Furious with him and The Rock, when they were on screen together, they always had to stage them where Vin Diesel was like 3 or 4 feet upstage from The Rock to make him look like he was somewhat near the same size.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
And then apparently he was wearing high-heeled boots with like 4-inch insoles also, apparently. So maybe that's...
You know what? I never would have known that because I've only seen him where he looks like a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's he's jacked. He's like cut up and pretty swole, but he's like 5'6", 5'7".
Well, that makes me feel good then.
Yeah. So maybe there's an angle. I'm gonna wear high-heeled boots and a lot of insoles, and then just
always make sure I'm up front in front of people.
I'm in front. I'm a little bit upstage. All right, good deal. So something I'm really interested in. So you've been going back and forth with this Goruck stuff. So break that. I know you were doing the selection. So kind of break down what Goruck is, what they're all about, and then the difference between just like going to a normal Goruck event versus the Goruck Selection.
Yeah. So Goruck is it's a military, I would say it bridges the gap between military and civilian. And the company is owned and ran by former special operators and spec ops, enlisted and officers from the military, top-notch guys, physically just dominating, mentally dominating, very kind of the tip of the spear type of people. Yeah. And they started this probably, 10 to 12 years ago, this company. And they've grown, they've got a big following now, and they've actually gotten to the point where Goruck is a sponsor within the CrossFit Games. And Goruck has events within the CrossFit Games, and they've got events like at the Rogue Invitational. But they put on these events, and there's different, I would say, echelons of events. So you've got what used to be called a Goruck Light, has now become Goruck Basic. And then that's like a 6-hour event. It's fun. It doesn't try to kill you. It doesn't, it does. You get done with it and you feel like you had a good time. They've got one that's called the Challenge. It's actually from Friday night until Saturday morning. So it's overnight, and you cover a lot of miles, and you do a lot of physical labor, and it's tough. Then you've got something called a heavy. And so heavy is 24 hours nonstop. Yeah. Then they've got these events called double heavies, which 48 hours.
48 hours. Okay.
Yeah. But all of these events that I'm talking about now, they're all team focused. They're all trying to get everybody to the finish line. And, you pick up the slack if somebody's starting to slow down, you pick up their slack, and vice versa. Goruck Selection is completely different. Goruck Selection is an individual event, and it is the only event where the cadre, so those are the spec ops guys that work for Goruck, where they are actively trying to make you quit.
This event is designed to kill you. That's how you know you're going for a good. It's a good event.
Yes.
Disclaimer: this event's trying to kill you.
What they call it, they call it a black class. So if you have 0 finishers from a Goruck Selection event, it's called a black class. And so I think that they are actively trying to make every class a black class. It's pretty tough. So I did my first event back in like 2013, or I think it was 2013. And I did like a light. It's a 6-hour event. It was fun. And then I got a group of people, I actually got your sister, to take part in a challenge, because I thought, I did a light. It was pretty fun. So
I have a story about the morning after of that. Anyway, go.
So anyway, we did this challenge, and we didn't know what we were getting into, and it was rough. And the next that morning that we finished, it was in March. It was pretty cold, and the last thing we had to do was we had to crawl through these fountains, and these fountains are frigid, and they're blowing water up, and you have to low crawl through them. And I know that we only have maybe 5 to 10 minutes left in this event, right? And I get blown right in the face with these fountains as I'm low crawling, and I'm at the point I'm about to quit. I can't even breathe right now. I'm about to be. I know that the event is almost done. And anyway, we finished, and they have a picture at the very end, and my lips are blue or purple because I am so cold at that point. But anyway, we all finished except for one person, and we've done one event since then, one challenge since then. So now fast forward, and 2016. So this is 5 years ago. I sign up for a Goruck Selection, and it's 48 hours. You get if you make it to the halfway point, you get a 20 to 30 minute nap time, and you get to eat, and then that's it. Everything else is work. So anyway, I did not train at all. I just did CrossFit, and I was like,
good.
I'll be good. Yeah, it was a great decision.
I'm good, man. If you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough.
That was the problem. So I was dumb, and I wasn't tough enough either. So the thing that you have to do when you get there, you go through what's called a PT test, so physical training test, and the PT test it's the standard. You have to meet the standard. If you don't, you're out. So you do 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, a 5-mile run, and then a 12-mile ruck march. And your ruck is 45 pounds dry, plus you got food and you got water. So it's probably 55, 60 pounds.
Okay. Are the push-ups, the 2 minute tests, are those without a pack or with the pack?
So no pack.
Okay.
No pack.
Right.
Yeah. You got to do 55 Army standard push-ups. And then you've got to do 65 Army standard sit-ups. And I say that because the standard is very different than what a lot of people do on their own. So, I get through the push-ups, I get through the sit-ups. We're running this trail run through this park in Bellbrook, Ohio, so this event is, is out there. It's in Ohio. So I pass the run. I do the ruck, pass the ruck. I am pleasantly surprised at this point that I'm as far as I am, because I have done this much training for the event. Then you go, they put you on a trailer, and it's about 42 degrees outside. They put you on a trailer and they transport you to, it's Jason McCarthy. He's the owner of the company. They transport you to his dad's house. And his dad's house is 400 yards from and uphill to a river. And that river sucks. I'm just going to say it right now. That hill sucks. All the things that you have to do, it's called a welcome party. And the welcome party, they try to dwindle down the number of people that are still in the event down to as few as possible. And I was at about 12 hours in, and I was just done. I was just done. And so as soon as you drop, it's called a voluntary withdrawal. As soon as you withdraw, the cadre turn from Satan to your best friend. And it's pretty crazy, pretty wild to see the transformation of these people who are brutal, and then they're real human beings. With all that said, so I didn't pass. Goruck Selection, they had 3 more classes. They skipped 2020 because of COVID-19. Yeah. And then back in December of 2020, I signed up for Goruck Selection 2021. So I'm 5 years older. I'm much wiser. I'm much more physically fit. I did train. I trained up for this. I did a lot of rucking.
Yeah.
I did a lot of workouts, long workouts.
I saw some of the workouts you were posting, and I'm like, no, thank you, sir.
Yeah, it was, and I had a good group of people that were supporting and doing some of the workouts with me.
Yeah.
But what I realized was, and I never took this to heart. So people who had finished selection previously, they said they were all in. They were 100% focused on that, on finishing that. And I thought, that I don't know if that's possible with kind of what I've got going on and,
yes,
life and things like that, kids, wife, and nothing against those guys, but I don't think I was sold out enough to finish. So the event comes, I passed the PT test, which was altered just a little bit, and the welcome party. And I'll be honest, Matt, I was physically dominated. It was crazy because I felt physically ready, and the welcome party just obliterated me. And the problem is that once you realize that you're getting that dominated physically, then mentally you're like, well, I don't know how I can sustain this for another 40 hours. So anyway, I did not pass. I swore up and down like the next several days. I'm like, well, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
And then I went to their website, and Goruck Selection 2022 was posted for October 20th in Jacksonville, Florida. And I was like, man, if I start training right now, I think I could be ready.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So
But go ahead.
Did you pull the trigger on that, or?
I have not pulled the trigger. I usually, once I make that decision, I go head first. But I have not done it yet. So, and kind of going back to what it would take to finish. Yeah. It's you got to be sold out for it. And I just don't know if, especially from now until then, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening, in my professional and personal life. And so I don't know if I can do that, but, back to the 2021 edition of selection, there were 49 people that showed up. There was one finisher of the event. And I'll say this guy, his name's Chad Malone. He's like a mountain.
Chad Malone.
Chad Malone. He's a big, write that down.